Welcome back to another weekly GMBN Tech Show. As you can see, things look a little bit different behind us here. I'm going to explain that in a little while. Coming up on the show this week, we check out that brand new Scott Gambler. We also look at a chorizo and baguette holder for your bike from Fidlock. And of course, there's some really cool stuff. And I'm going to take you down a little rewind memory lane for some cool stuff I found as well. And of course, there's always the amazing content from you guys. Now straight into news, and first up this week, I want to show you the new Scott Gambler. Now we have seen prototypes being raced throughout the year, and we're well aware that some of the riders, including Brendan, have swapped between the two for various different events, and we've also seen different wheel sizes being used. And check this out now. So this looks to be a near production version. So it's sharing a lot of similar lines with the much shorter travel Genius and Ransom frames. So it's basically a 4-bar linkage back end on there with that classic rocker design. And it's, of course, it's got the horse link on the chainstay, and it looks to be a full carbon design. Now, I think you'll find it does look amazing, and the particular one on screen now has that Fox 49 fork on it, which suggests, of course, it's a 29-inch wheel compatible bike. Now, the prototype version we did see throughout the year, we did see different size wheels being used on it. And in this riding clip here on Brendan Fairclough's Instagram page, it does look to me that he's running 29-inch wheels. We know he tried it before, we know he didn't get on with it before. It might have been just the wrong bike for him at the time. But it certainly looks like they're going to be running 29s now. And check out this launch video, action-packed, and the bike looks unreal. Love that slim top tube design, very similar to the Uno and a lot of other very modern cutting edge bikes out there. Again, the Mondraker also shares a nice refined slender top tube, really clean looking bike. Very much looking forward to seeing a production version of this one hitting the shelves. Now, next up in news is the new Oakley DRT5 helmet. There's also a few other cool things in the range, but the helmet really is the thing that stands out to us. Now, this has been designed in conjunction with Greg Minnaar, and of course he's ridden many helmets over the years, and as a pro rider he's going to know exactly the sort of tech that you're going to need in a helmet. Now, this is it on the screen. It shares some similarities with some other popular helmets out there like the POC Tactile and of course the Troy A2. Now, the helmet itself uses a BOA FS1 system on the inside, so it's a full 360 wrap around the head. It doesn't just pinch on the back, it pulls around your entire head. Now, this is also a low profile design. It's designed specifically to work really well with eyewear. Now, a lot of helmets that have got cradles at the back, it can be a bit of a problem with them pinching, depending if you run the eyewear underneath or on top of them. Obviously, Oakley, being an eyewear manufacturer, have designed this helmet specifically to work with them. Now, there's also a really cool cradle for the glasses on the back of the helmet, so you can clip them on for climbs or anything you might be fogging up, for example, or maybe just times you don't want to wear them, and easily just pull them off and stick them back on your face. Now, the helmet itself comes in a whole bunch of different colours, and it's got some other really cool features in there. The one on screen now is kind of like a military sort of style one, and this next one now I love. This is Greg Minnaar's favourite one, the grey. It just looks simple. It's going to work with all clothes, whether you're wearing leery stuff or stealthy clothing. I particularly like the brow pad and the helmet. Now, I did see a prototype of this when I was at Eurobike, but we weren't actually allowed to shoot the helmet at the time, even though it was right in front of us. Now, it's got like a silicone gel sort of, it's like a fin that runs across the front of your head, specifically designed to catch that sweat and channel it completely away from your glasses. Any chance of getting sweat on the lenses or the lenses fogging up from overheating and that is just going to actually remove that from happening. I think it's a really cool system, and of course, you know how much you sweat when you ride, it drips down your face. By channeling it completely away and down the sides, it's going to dry out quicker and not get in your eyes. So I think that's a really cool feature. And next up from Oakley, as you can also see in some of the footage there of Greg Minnaar riding, are the prism lenses. Now, the lens technology isn't that new, but they have got some revisions on it. So the whole point of this is it's designed to bring out the shadows, and it kind of oversaturates greens and browns. So when you're in the woods and you're riding and stuff like roots and that, your depth perception might be struggling in different light conditions, it's designed to really accentuate that stuff, and it's a really fantastic way of doing it. It works really well. Now, they've also got this low light version specifically designed for people that ride in dim woods, dark conditions, even like winter conditions. It's really designed to accentuate that and really does help. So check these lenses out on the screen now. It's very cool technology, and kind of similar in fact to the technology that POC rock using there is they've got the clarity lenses, and it's a similar principle to pick up on the greens, the browns, the shadows, all that sort of stuff that can be quite confusing when you're diving into the woods and you've got dappled light. I think this is wicked that just instead of dark lenses or clear lenses, there are some proper technical options available for mountain bikers. Ever heard of Unparallel? Nope, I hadn't either, until in fact Neil pointed them out to me. So they're a climbing shoe manufacturer, and you guessed it, they make mountain biking specific shoes. They make them for flat pedals and they make them for clipless pedals, and they've got some really cool shoes in their range. Now they all benefit from a dual rubber compound sole. Now depending on the model, there are different geometries of rubber available, but the concept is you have soft rubber on the area that contacts the pedals, and then the rest of the shoe, the areas that are going to wear out, have a harder compound rubber. Now the ones on the screen now are the West Ridge. So this is a flat pedal shoe, and I think of all the flat pedal shoes, this one looks the most interesting to me. Now it's got lace flaps on there, it's got a strap at the top. It looks fantastic for overall protection, keeping your laces out of the way, and I presume probably pretty good in bad weather as well. Now the sole on it is the dual compound. It's got 75 to 80 geometer on the toes and the heel, and the patch that contacts with the pedal itself, that is a softer 58 to 63. So it's quite a cool concept, really quite into that. And then there's the uplink. Now this one really appeals to me as a clipless fan. So this one has 45 and 50 and 75 and 80 in the geometer stake, so slightly softer around the pedal, which I think is quite interesting because I would have assumed that you would have a softer geometer on the flat pedal shoe, but not the case for these ones. And it has a really good cleat channel on there, so easy access to the pedal for engaging and disengaging. Kind of looks a bit like a skate shoe, which I'm a bit of a fan of. It doesn't look quite as clunky and clumpy as some of the other ones available on the market, and it's also got that lace saver strap, which I guess you can crank up nice and tight too if you really want to get some power out of them. I think it's a really cool looking range. There's quite a lot in there. Check them out. Now this one's especially useful if you're of the taller variety. So Fox are releasing a transfer post now in a 175mm drop. That is huge. So that's a 7-inch drop. So there's also in the range, in case you're a bit more vertically challenged, the 4-inch, so 100mm drop, 5-inch, 125mm, 6-inch, 150, and now of course that 175 7-inch drop. It's available in the factory, which is the Kashima coated, and the performance, which is the black coated option, so at different price points there. It's available in 30.9 and 31.6, and there's 3 different remotes available for it. So the remote, you can either use the Raceface Performance Products left side 1x remote. You can also use 2 Fox different options on there, one for 2 and 3x and one for 1x, and that is the 1x1 on the screen right now. I think that's the neatest looking one they've done to date. It's also got a low lever force on this now, so one of the problems with a lot of cable operated droppers are you do have to struggle with getting that lever cranked in, especially if there's a bit of friction on your system. Now the way the Fox have designed this is it's got a low breakaway force, so it should feel a lot nicer even when your cables get gunked up. I think that's really cool. And finally in the news this week, of course, is that brand new Canyon Strive Enduro bike with the Shapeshifter Mark II. Now we flew over to Germany to have a look at it and looked at it against the older model bike. So there's 2 videos, one by Neil over on GMBN, that is the old versus the new, and there's a video on GMBN Tech if you haven't already seen it, by myself just checking out some details on the factory and all the cool details of the bike. Pretty cool bike that. Alright, now it's time for Bike Cave, which is of course our section of the show where we get to see where you store your bikes, where you tinker with your bikes, where you clean your bikes, all of that stuff. So no matter where you store your bikes and look after them, take some photos of them and send them in to us. The uploaded link is right there at the bottom of the screen. Now this week I want to tell you a little bit about our kind of bike cave because it's a little bit different to the normal place. So previously we had a set upstairs near our workshop, but there's 2 workshops at GMBN Towers. There's one which is a set for filming in, and then there's our dedicated workshop which is for fixing bikes. And to be honest, it's somewhere that I like hanging out, so we moved the set down here. So I spent a bit of today doing a bit of cutting, some sawing, some drilling. Check it out. And also on top of that, we've got a few additional entries. So this one is from David in Plainfield. Hi Doddy, this is my bike stroke pain cave. The Strive is my main whip, wicked, so that's like last year's model. Very cool, the 27.5-inch wheels there. The Chinese Carbon 2680 is my son's, along with the SETI Recon HT. Sunday is my younger son's, and a Hutchins Pro Racing next to it is my bike from way back. I've got a 1994 Stumpy Comp, nice, that I used on the Turbo Trainer and as a gravel bike. The Stumpy was abandoned by a friend, the TV was a hand-me-down from the in-laws, and the trainer was an acquired second-hand purchase. All in, I have less than $300 invested in my Zwift setup. That is awesome. Zwifts are pretty expensive as well, so if you can get a setup like that. Loving the way you've just got the bikes hanging around in the background there, and obviously the Canyon taking pride of the floor space there. You've got a bit of a weight setup there, a weight bench, nice. Got a huge old TV in there, so that's pretty good hand-me-down, having a TV that big in there with your Zwift setup. That's mega. Yeah, and you've got your turbo trainer set up with that old Stumpy. Nice, and the running machine too. Got the whole pain den sorted out. Looking good, nice one, thanks for that. Next up is from Roy in USA. I know it's also my pro shop, but this is also my bike cave. 2017 Sprinter van that's converted into a 100 square foot shop. Complete with repair stand, ultrasonic parts cleaner. That's still something I have not purchased. I must get a parts cleaner. They are cool as anything. LED lighting, compressor, every tool you could ever need, and enough spares to get the job done. Right, so let's check it out. Oh wow, flipping it, that's inside the van. Oh man, that is beautiful. Loving the workspace there. That backboard looks awesome, and the stainless steel workbench. Oh man. Park Pro stand bolted to the side of the van. All the spare parts by the looks of it. It looks like a shop. Well, it is a shop, isn't it? Pro shop. Dude, that looks amazing. Ultrasonic cleaner as well. That is rad. Well, awesome. Thanks for that, Roy, and thanks everyone for sending in your bike case. Absolutely love them. Keep them coming in. And don't forget, you can send us video entries as well. We love video entries. And that also means we're happy to share those on our own social media, so you might get a few follows from that. So be sure to send them in via the link as before on the screen, and tell us all about yourselves and all the cool stuff that you've got going on in your bike cave. Okay, now it's time for Rewind. Yep, that's our retro section of the show. If you have anything retro, could be old photos, could be a bike, could be a jersey, whatever it is, take some photos, take some video of it, tell us about it, and use our uploaded link right there at the bottom of the screen. Send it in and we'll put it on the show. So I was having a little clear out of my own bike cave, and I found a whole bag full of old race jerseys now. They don't belong to me. Check some of these out. So this first jersey, I last wore this, I reckon, in 1993, something like that. So this is when I was a young'un, and I used to go around all the races getting everyone's autographs. So on here, I can see some pretty good contenders in here. I can see Joe Murray on here. I can see Rob Warner. I can see Sally Hibbard. In fact, the Sally Hibbard autograph, she used to race for Team MBUK. And I had my photo taken when she was signing this t-shirt. And my first appearance in Mountain Biking UK magazine was also Steve Peat's first appearance in Mountain Biking UK magazine. That's when he was racing for BATS, so it was Bayton All-Terrain Squad, I think they were called. Yeah, there's a few more tucked away in there. There's Hans Ray down there, the first time I met him. Sean Roberts, Paul Hinton, Adrian Timmer, Simon Kipling, David Baker, Nick Craig, good friend of mine now actually, Jez Avery as well. Jez Avery, awesome. But that's not even the cool stuff. So this one here, this dirty old jersey and size triple XL, this one belongs to Rob Warner, and this was his National Champs jersey from, I think, about 98. Still with his mud on it, and unfortunately still with his funk. But it's pretty cool to have that. I think we might get this one framed, if we can get a big enough frame, and have this one up on the set. What do you reckon? Good enough for the set? We shall see. And another one. This one here belongs to Danny Hart, and this is for when Danny Hart won World Champs. Super cool jersey, I think you'll find. Just the fact it's a Danny Hart jersey, pretty mint. Love Danny Hart. This one is my pride and joy though. This one belonged to none other than Steve Peat, if I can find the right way up. So that's the front of the jersey. This is the back. This jersey was in fact cut off him when he crashed and broke his shoulder. I think this was at Grouse Mountain possibly. There you go, so was number one. This hurt a lot. How cool is that? Definitely need to get this one framed. Had this one for many years. Right old mess of a jersey, that one. And then we've got a Brian Lopes special here for when Brian used to race for Team Mongoose. Of course, unlike all the other riders who used to wear motocross style jerseys, Lopes quite muscly, he likes to wear lycra on his mountain bike. There you go, Brian Lopes. And I think this is the exact jersey he was wearing when he was riding at Bike 99 up at Birmingham NEC. and they had a set of dirt jumps there, and I think his bike had broken, so he borrowed a random bike from a stand. I think it was a Muddy Fox, and he did the biggest ghost ride I've ever seen wearing this jersey. So basically sent the bike off the first jump, and it hung up on a set of railings. And the last one is from Steve Gill. So Steve Gill, aka Gilly, the 1989 BMX World Freestyle Champion, might be an 88, I forget there. The most textbook style on a mountain bike ever, or in fact on any bike. Does the best tabletops on earth, fact, bar none. Absolutely amazing rider. Used to be teammates with Martin Ashton. In fact, they were teammates on Team Animal, sponsored by Mountain Biking UK, as you can see there. He used to run Mongoose bikes, and I think Martin used to use his own Ashton bikes, but pretty cool jersey that. Good to have some of this rewind stuff tucked away. You'll be amazed what some of the pro riders would actually give you if you approach them at the right time. So I'm really keen to see if anyone else out there is lucky enough to have some jerseys or some artifacts that belong to any other riders. If you have, take some pics, send it in. Alright, now it's time for Top Mods. So this is all about the modifications that you make to your bike. All that stuff that makes your bike better than your mates, basically. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You could be setting up your front tyre tubeless, you could have changed your chain on there, or it could be an entirely new frame. Whatever it is, we love seeing it. So you know the drill. Tell us about it, take some photos, and send them in using our uploader service at the bottom of the screen. So this is from Soleil in Kelowna, BC. The ridge for the bearings on my pedals is higher than a small pin, so in the wet, it becomes very slippery. So I've put grip tape on the ridge, and added grip is phenomenal. Do you know what? That is a wicked idea. 4 rides in the rain and snow, and it's holding really well. It's a great mod for flat pedal riders wanting even more grip. Next up is how I mounted my cage mount pump to my down tube with zip ties, because my bike has no cage mounts. I'll tell you what, 10 out of 10 for that mod on your pedals, because literally you've barely changed it, but I bet that has made a world of difference. And also a great solution if you've managed to get a pair of pedals and they're not quite grippy enough for your likes, just to improve them. I think that's really, really cool. I guess you can get colour-coded grip tape too if you wanted to. Liking the bottle cage bodge as well. That's pretty good. I'll tell you what you might want to try. I see you've stuffed, it looks like a bit of rubber from an inner tube under the mount. If you get yourself some of that Scotch 3M 2228 tape, you can put a little smidge of that tape on there just underneath the mount as you put it on. It will never rattle around, it will never move. It's good stuff. It is quite expensive, but it is really worthwhile. I think every mountain biker should have a roll of that stashed away in a workshop. I think really useful stuff. But really like what you've done. The bike looks really, really cool. Oh, and we have got one more in fact. I didn't even realise we had this one. This one's from Braden. This is mega. So this is a 2019 Stump Jumper Comp Carbon. She says, almost finished with my build and I'm super stoked on it. I had to set up in my home studio to get some shots. This is insane. Look at the build on this thing, the purple disc brakes on it. Completely colour coded the whole way through. Man, I think you've done amazing on this. So you've added Hope Tech brakes and rotors, factory Fox 36 fork, carbon Royal wheels, Roval I guess you mean. Roval wheels with DT Swiss hubs, carbon race face bars, full XX1 group set, race face stem, wolf tooth dropper lever. That's a real nice hop up actually, they're nice. Still to come is the Fox transfer dropper, okay, so even better, and the DPX2 rear shock. Having a ton of fun riding the bike and can't wait to dial it in anymore. I'll tell you what, the picture looks amazing. Love what you've done there. I really appreciate the effort in taking a good picture. I like taking photos myself, so thank you so much for that, Braden. And thanks everyone for sending in some really cool top mods. Keep them coming. And now it's time for Tech of the Week. Now this week, I want to talk about Fidlock a bit. So you might remember from Eurobike, I got one of these little devices. So this is a Fidlock bottle. It uses a magnetic bung system that sits on your bike and you can simply lock on a bottle onto the cage design there. So it's really, really cool. But have a look at this one on the screen now. So this is the imaginatively named Boa Twist Unique Connector. Essentially, it's the same concept as this. You have the mounting plate that goes onto the frame of your bike, and then you have the cradle that's got the magnetic attachment. But instead of having a bottle, you've got boa straps. And you can attach pretty much anything you want to it, as long as it's under 80 millimeters. So in my eyes, that's for trailside snacks, maybe a baguette and some chorizo. It could be a can of beer, it could be a bottle of gin, it could be a bottle of wine if you're Steve Jones. It could be a pump and a tube, something useful. I love this idea. It's a really, really cool demonstration of the Fidlock system. guys, keep making this cool stuff. I think what Fidlock are doing is awesome. Also, did you see that Fidlock making some stuff directly with YT bikes now that comes on that new Jeffsy? So they've got the same design as this, in fact, but with their own unique bottle size, especially for the Jeffsy. Very cool. There we go, there's another weekly GMBN Tech Show in the bag. If you guys have got any great ideas for new content we could include on the weekly show as a regular part of it, I'd love to know what you think. I have some ideas about chucking some products against each other or some bikes against each other, or maybe even seeing what's cool or not at the moment. But if you've got ideas, I'd love to know, so let us know in those comments below. In the meantime, we've got a couple more great videos for you. Click down here if you want to learn all about that new Canyon Strive, all the tech stuff that goes with that. And if you want something a bit more light-hearted that's going to make you look, well, it made me laugh filming it, click over here for some classic workshop mistakes. As always, give us a huge thumbs up if you love what we're doing here at GMBN Tech, and please don't forget to subscribe and share our content.